everybody gets kind of pushed off as an 0-3 team. Kind of walk us through kind of how you keep your kids up and keep them prepared, because we know they're going to look at records, they're going to look at softness in their schedule and things, and they're going to think something's a little up. We might be able to pull back a little bit. We've seen what happens to teams when you take a team for granted. How do you guys as a staff prepare your kids for playing at 100% every week?
I think that's the key right there. I think that's what all coaching staffs are trying to do, especially when you are fortunate to be 3-0 like we are. The main thing I think is just keeping on what's the focus, what's your purpose here, what are you trying to really accomplish. Again, you and I talked about it before, the covenant that we talked to these kids about, the idea of how we're building a program and it never stops. And for us, that's the focus, is we're constantly building. We haven't gotten to where we want to be yet. We still haven't played, we feel like, 4 great quarters, so we keep it more on us really, and not so much about the opponent. When you're in a situation like this, facing someone that is 0-3, other than the fact that they're still a very scary athletic Marshall team. And that's the thing, and you hate to say if you let a team hang around, but that's really kind of what it is. If we don't come out from the onset in this game and we let them hang around, they start to get momentum. They start believing, even though they haven't won 3, and then they start thinking, hey, we can win this game. Whereas if we can jump on them early and play 4 quarters, then we can be successful. But yeah, that's the tough thing about coaches, is keeping those kids focused in on what we're doing. And I think the main for us is just, what is our purpose here as a team? What is it that we're trying to accomplish as we set out to win, X amount of games or whatever it is.
Okay, look at some of the injuries that you've kind of faced the last first 3 weeks too. How's everybody health-wise? How do you feel like your strengths right now are really dominant in your football game?
We're very fortunate right now. We've been pretty healthy. Our kids are banged up. Anytime you put your body through a football game like we do at this level, you're going to be banged up and bruised up. But we're pretty healthy here. Training staff, Coach Ramsey and Coach DeLorme do a great job of getting our kids back up. We're pretty healthy. Our strengths, we feel like, is one thing we've been focusing on is we live 3 days a week, and we are trying to get stronger throughout the season. In years past, we've done a lot of speed weights and things like that. We've tried to maintain what we have, but we're actually focusing on trying to get stronger. We're lifting a little bit heavier on Monday and Tuesday. So those are the strengths I think that we're trying, that in the way that we condition. We're still running our 40s, we're still pulling tires, and we're still coming out every day and working. And those are, I think, what we're seeing as our strengths here as we get into week 4 of this season.
When you guys get together, say at the end of practice, or even after a Friday night, is there players right now that are surprising you? Is there anybody you guys talked about and said, man, have you watched this guy, and how he's been able to kind of mesh even the first 3 weeks of the season? Anybody really standing out to you in that way?
Yeah, there are several guys. You say when we get together, we actually have what Coach Dunn has brought with him from things that we did when we were at Chapel Hill, and they actually did it at Corsicana, leadership. So when you say that, there are people who stand out. Every day after practice, we all get together. We assess kind of what we've seen, again, refocus on what we're trying to do, the main goal here, and then we ask coaches for leadership. Do you see anyone who deserves leadership points? And we actually have a leadership board that's in there, and some guys who have really been hitting the board heavy are sticking out to us. Some of those are Ryan Cheatham, someone who works hard every day. I think he had 1 catch last week in the ball game. Coach Cook said that he came to him at one point and said, Coach, you can run the outside zone here all night long. Well, I don't know if you know or not, but on the outside zone, all he's doing is he's blocking. And he's blocking for the running back to go. And, so people like that step out in my mind. People like Jake Parker, that whenever, Justin goes down, comes to us and says, hey, Coach, I'm going to go do this. And again, didn't have a lot of catches the other day, but just loves the game. Throughout practice, he's working corner, he's working safety, and do whatever it is to take for this team to go to the next level. Then I see somebody like Costin Wallace, who's continually worked throughout this season trying to get in better shape. Darian Thompson was telling me the other day he's lost 17 pounds since 2 days, and that's helped him play longer, play stronger. stronger. It's helped them out. So those are some of the guys, and there's several of them. There are several guys that do, and this team is really gelling in a pretty neat way to see it. And we've got some obstacles ahead of us. We start school at 7:50, and we're not done until 3:15. That is a long day for these kids.
Through the University of Alabama's new college life track, you can earn a degree from Alabama. More importantly, you'll discover that passionate student inside of you. Take a course around your schedule from wherever you are, and structure those courses around things you want to learn.
Welcome back to Wildcat Stadium at Whitehouse. It continues to rain, unfortunately, in the home opener. And boy, we've been looking forward to a home opener for quite a while. But it is curtailed the crowd somewhat as the Whitehouse Wildcats come out on the field right now. Led by number 68, Austin Dickerson, carrying the sledgehammer tonight, as they will head out to the center of the field and get pepped up. They are out here tonight, and they have rolled out the black pants tonight.
The rainfall that we had, Brian, we had anywhere from 2 to 9 inches. You told me earlier in Gilmer.
Gilmer got flooded today.
Yeah, well, evidently the flooding problem did not hit Whitehouse, or at least the drainage situation is worked out beautifully here because the field's in great shape. Officials are about getting ready to get the coin toss on hand, but the rain continues to fall. It's very light rain. Winds are coming out of the south to southeast around 5 to 8 miles per hour, according to our staff meteorologist. And it is shifting a little bit, but as of right now, it's really not going to be that big of a factor. Cloud cover should be around through the rest of the night. Should have a little sporadic rainfall throughout the evening, but really should not have any problem with this football game.
You mentioned games being affected by the weather. Longview's game against Lufkin was scheduled to go on as scheduled at 7:30 tonight. Homecoming plans, though, could change as the weather affects things. Also, Gilmer Dangerfield is postponed until 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Gladewater's game against Atlanta moved to 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Robert E. Lee's ball game with Texas High scheduled for tonight to be played tomorrow afternoon at 2:30 at Texarkana. It's been that kind of a day here in East Texas. We're going to take a timeout, and we'll come back and we'll continue the pregame festivities for you in just a couple of minutes on Hot 107.3 Jams. How much the loss of Coleman Patterson to the lineup will mean to the Whitehouse Wildcats.
Yep, we're going to break that down here in a second. Randy Dove is about to take care of our coin toss. Both all the captains are sitting out here at midfield, along with our cohort in crime, Eric Sullivan, doing some TV out here. Randy?
All right, guys, Marshall's the visitors. They're going to call the coin toss. What are you going to call? What do you say? Okay. It is heads. What do you want to do? Receive? You want to defend the clock, right? Okay, move over there. Y'all come over here.
Well, Randy Dove giving us the details. Marshall has won the toss. They're going to go ahead and defend the north end zone. Whitehouse will back up to the south end zone. Once again, game time temp 71 degrees. Right now, winds are out of the southeast around 5 to 8 miles per hour, are not planning on being a factor at all tonight. And Brian, as you said, I think that some of the rumblings, I think with the coaching staff is because, as you well know, as character-driven as this coaching staff is, I think that they're basically more concerned about Patterson's health, obviously, at this point. And they've got so dang many targets and so many weapons on the sideline. And their receiving core, I think you well know as well as anybody, that in his absence, obviously, they've got guys they can go to. Drew Smith, I think, will get the start tonight, obviously, in his stead. We do hope for a quick recovery because they just lost a fellow student a couple of weeks ago from mononucleosis and a strain that actually attacked his brain. They were a little bit, obviously, very concerned about Patterson's situation, but that is a whole different strain. He should be just fine, but he is going to miss a week and maybe even 2. And just like you and I talked about before the game, is this going to be a factor for the game against Carthage? That will be something they're going to try to answer next week.
Well, they got to take care of business tonight, first of all. Marshall is down. They've been down for a couple of years, but Coach Clint Harper comes back from Leander. He was a Marshall quarterback. He is part of the Dennis Parker regime back when the Marshall Mavericks were starting to make their name as a power in East Texas, won a state championship. So he's trying to bring back the magic in Marshall. And so right now we're going to see Krim kick it off. And it's going to be a pooch kick, and it's going to be taken by Whitehouse, and it is Nate Brooks. Nate Brooks comes up with it on the onside kick. and Whitehouse is going to take over with 11:55 to go, just getting underway. Now we'll see if it went a full 10 yards.
I think that's what they're talking about on the far side, too, Brian.
Can't touch it if it hasn't gone a full 10 yards. He kicked it up in the air toward the right side. And just like that, okay, it's against Whitehouse, so I'm assuming it didn't go the full 10 yards, and Marshall is going to take over the football, and they will play offense first.
Well, that obviously had to take the Mavericks by surprise, as I think it did all of us, too, wondering if that's what was going to happen. But Booch kick was probably not on our agenda, and obviously took Marshall off key a little bit, and they made the indication that it was interference, Brian, so maybe a possibility, maybe a Whitehouse player hit the receiver trying to get the ball beforehand. Maybe that was the call.
All right, we'll check that in a moment, but right now it'll be Marshall, and they will be starting at the 39-yard line of Whitehouse. Great field position to start, and the quarterback is going to fire a slant out to the left side. It's caught at the 25-yard line. The quarterback on this team is Justin Hart, and we'll catch it as they go right up to the line of scrimmage after the gain of 10 on the play. And we'll run the rest of the lineup down for you as they get to the 1st and 10 at the 25. Again, Justin Hart, the quarterback. And now this time they got Kirkendall playing quarterback. Kirkendall is going to run around. He'll be knocked down for no gain on the play by the Whitehouse defense. Kirkendall, number 15, is their leading offensive threat, and they use him both as a running back and as a quarterback. They'll line him up at wide receiver. The line is C.J. Powell at center, Alex Silva, and Ivan Monzon, along with Chet Munden and Tyler Hodges. 2nd down and 10. We'll get the rest of the lineup in just a moment. Whitehouse, and back to throw. Deep ball, right side, overthrown, and incomplete, and a flag goes down as the pass was intended for, I believe, number 89. And I don't have an 89, so I can't tell who that is.
It should be 85.
85, thank you. All right, 85 would be Trell Patton. Again, these numbers they're clearer, but they're small.
Yeah, and they're scrunched together with that black outline of the red numbers, too.
Yeah.
So
at any rate, 85, Trell Patton was the intended receiver, and a flag goes down.
Yeah, I think Nate was holding him from behind. Nate Brooks was in coverage, and at the last minute, I think, reached in with a hand and was holding him in from behind. So he was actually impeding the receiver. That's going to be the call.
All right, so that's going to be against Whitehouse, and they'll march it down and spot the ball as Adam Cook protests the call. He is not happy with it, and he is letting the officials know about it on the near side. Receivers, Mitchell Leonard, again, Trell Patton, 85. They'll come out in a power spread formation, send a man in motion. Kirkendall sweeping left. Kirkendall gets to the sideline on the far side, and he's going to get run out of bounds over there by Chris Reese inside the 15 to about the 13-yard line with 11:06 to go. And it'll be what appears to be a 3rd down play now. Check that 2nd down. It'll be 2nd down and 6. John Love is the running back, and he is lined up on the right side. They also have a power back, almost a slot back, lined up behind the right guard. And now there's a flag on the play. Illegal procedures. We had movement in the line.
Yeah, they had
and that was 15, Jacques Kirkendall that flinched, I think.
Sorry, Brian. They had a couple of seconds left on the play clock, but just out of position was the slot back, and then moving from one side to the other. Looked like there was a little confusion with that left tackle as to where he needed to line up.
So that'll back it up now to what appears to be the 17-yard line. And Marshall will come out in 4 wide set. They send a man in motion. Back to throw is Hart. Hart looks, throws the screen out to the left side, intended for John Love. Threw it behind him, incomplete. Now it sets up a 3rd down and 11 situation for Marshall. They have an opportunity to cash in on great field position, but right now not clicking on all cylinders offensively. Marshall comes into the ball game only averaging about 254 yards a game. And again, as I mentioned earlier, the schedule has been brutal for the Mavericks. 3rd down and 12 now from the 18. Hart rolls right, looks, fires, right side, caught and dropped at about the 14, and all over him on the play was number 27, Savion Lewis, breaking up the pass, and Chris Reese in on as well. So it'll be 4th down now, and 11 yards to go from the 18.
Well, and you just have to feel for these guys too, Brian, because just like you said, their schedule is brutal, and this is a team that's got a lot of athletes, but they're just so small. Their interior line, they've got some size at the tackle position, but their outs, their backs, their quarterback, running back, they are all just tiny guys. So it's very hard for them to compete with the athletes that are right across from them in the Wildcats.
So now they're going to try a field goal from the 25 is where it'll be spotted. The 35-yard kick is up, and it is off to the left and no good from Emmanuel Acuna. Emmanuel Acuna with the wide left field goal. So amongst athletic directors, it saves on shoes. So Whitehouse comes out now 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line, and a screen pass out to the left side from Mahomes to Vincent Dunning, and Dunning is going to get out to the 28-yard line. Dunning is the running back, and the offensive line, Austin Dickerson, Gustavo Garza, and Sam Moore, the guards. The tackles are Marcus Brown, who is Mr. Homecoming, by the way, and Brandon Bobo. Back with more in a moment. It is 2nd down and 3, and they'll hand it off to Dunning, crossing the 30, and Dunning is going to fight for yardage, possibly close to the 1st down. The rest of the lineup, again, Ryan Cheatham, Jalen Dews, Jake Parker, the normal starting wide receivers, and Drew Smith is going to start as the wide receiver in place of Coleman Patterson.
And Dunning will come off the field hobbling on that left ankle, Brian.
Back to throw now. Mahomes on 1st and 10 from the 30. Now he rolls to his left, finds some running room, tight ropes down the sidelines, and gets out of bounds at the 36-yard line for a 5-yard gain on the play. Defensively for Marshall, Trey Valentine, Darius Brightman, Rashad Williams, and Antonio Washington on the front. Linebackers Micah Smith, Brandon Aldridge, and Blaine Hayes. Now, running up the middle is Shamar Smith. And Smith crosses the 40. Actually, he'll be down at the 40-yard line. And so now it's going to be 3rd down and 1 as, again, they run that hurry-up offense with 4 wideouts. Quick pass out to the left side to Ryan Cheatham. Cheatham crossing the 45, has the 1st down, gets to midfield, and he'll go down right there. Tackled on the play by number 24, Dontavius Boyd. Boyd, one of the safeties, along with Jaquavian Dabbs, and the corners to Corey Robinson and Jalen Mitchell. Now Mahomes back to throw 1st and 10. He'll throw an inside screen to Jake Parker. Parker cuts it inside to the 40. Down inside the 40 to the 37-yard line. Nice gain on the play. Stop on the play by Dontavius Boyd once again. And so from the 50-yard line down to the 35 for a 15-yard gain. And now whistle blows as Mahomes tries to go back to throw. And we may have illegal procedure against the Whitehouse Wildcats.
Checking on Justin Dunning also. He's going to go ahead and have a seat. They're going to go ahead and rewrap his left ankle. Doc is over working on him right now. Came off favoring it. He's pretty sure he got it wrapped up in that tackle.
And let me, I'm sorry to do this, but let me correct you. Vincent Dunning.
Vincent, thank you.
Sorry. Justin, he's wearing Justin's number now, which confuses everybody, by the way. His brother's number does Justin out for the year with a knee injury. All right, this time they're going to sweep it left to Shamar Smith. Smith gets to the 35, and he goes down hard. And first man getting up off the bottom of the pile is number 80, Darius Brightman, the defensive lineman for Marshall. And so it's going to be a gain of about 2 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down and 8 for Whitehouse at the Marshall 35-yard line. Mahomes back to throw. Fade pass, right side. Man's wide open. Caught at the 11-yard line. Cutting inside, trying to get more, but can't. And goes down right there. Great pass and catch. Jake Parker on the other end of the reception for the Whitehouse Wildcats. It'll be first down inside the 15-yard line.
It looked like from a couple of weeks ago, too. Got about 8 yards behind the defender.
And now they'll run the sweep left side, and rolling into the end zone untouched on the sweep, number 32, Trey Staples. Touchdown, Whitehouse. And now there's a flag down back at the 15-yard line.
I think they're going to call this against Marshall, Brian. I think they had somebody set up in the neutral zone, so this is a good touchdown.
Offsides against Marshall is the call. It's declined. And the Mavericks find themselves on the trailing end right now as Whitehouse scores on the touchdown, and now they will try the extra point. And it's going to be number 35, Travis Blackburn. They alternate kickers. And that kick is up, and it's good. And with 8:10 to go here in the first quarter, it's Whitehouse 7 and Marshall nothing on Hot 107.3. Jams back in a moment with an 11. Taken at the 20, brought out to the 25, to the 30, 35-yard line. And that's where Whitehouse is going to take over after the kick return by Trell Patton.
Brian, I found out who number 23 was, by the way. Vincent Dunning should be fine. They're going to retape him. He just got rolled up on in that tackle, so they're going to retape him, get him back in the game.
Very good. Thank you. Here come the Marshall Mavericks. First and 10 from their own 35-yard line. And it'll be Love at quarterback. High snap. And they'll hand it off to the running back, fighting to the 33-yard line. And that's going to be for a loss on the play. Carry by John Love, and again getting up off the pile, Nate Brooks was in there. And so it'll be second down and 10 now from the 33-yard line. They come out 3 wideouts to the left side this time. 7:28 to play. And they'll snap it back directly to Kirkendall, who is in at quarterback this time. Again, he kind of runs the Wildcat for them. Kirkendall will get back to the line of scrimmage and no more.
Yeah, Brian, Savion Lacey put a shot on Kirkendall as he got about 2 yards downfield. They bumped helmets, and Lacey's going to have to come off. He's got some equipment loosened up, I think, on that hit.
Fair enough. This time, deep pass over to the left side. It's caught on the sideline at the 49-yard line in Whitehouse territory. Trying to make out the number right now. And is that Kirkendall? Yep. Okay, I believe that is Kirkendall that made the catch. Is it? Is it 15?
Yes, it is.
Very good, thank you. I can't tell 15 to 85 on these numbers, so I apologize.
Lacey on the tackle.
Lacey on the tackle for the Whitehouse Wildcats. Marshall has the ball now at Whitehouse's 48-yard line. 4 wideouts. Justin Hart at quarterback has the running back now moving over to the left side, John Love. And on first and 10, quick pass out to the left side and jacked up as he catches the ball. No chance for Kirkendall. Kirkendall really hit out there by, I believe it was Reese. Also, 26 for Whitehouse is Jacoby Lacey. And so now it's second down after a short gain of only 1 on the play at the 47-yard line of Whitehouse. Marshall with the football in the all-white jerseys, all-white pants, white headgear, red numerals, red socks for most of them. 5:35 to go first quarter. Handoff right up the middle. And again, stuffed as he gets to the 45-yard line. Good defense on the play by Dominique Holly and Devin Collier. And so Whitehouse's defense ready tonight so far on homecoming night as the looks like the rain's finally stopped, Kenny.
It's intermittent, but right now it has stopped. Man, there's just a mismatch inside here. The speed difference, Brian, is just it's astronomical. You watch these athletes close in on these pass receptions and even inside the tackles here too.
3rd down and 6 from the 45. Back to throw Hart. Now he's going to run right side, gets to the 40, and then a great open field tackle by Joseph Klein, who shot up there and knocked him down when it looked like there was a lot of running room for Hart. Klein closed and kept him short of the first down at the 40-yard line.
Well, isn't that what you and I love about that kid? I mean, there's very few times he does not make a formed tackle. This kid knows how to play defense.
Well, I know one thing. There was an awful lot of green in front of Justin Hart, and then that green went away in a hurry. 4:18 to play. It's 4th down and 2, and it looks like Marshall's going to at least look like they're going for it. They have a power set. They're going to hand off to Love, the running back, and Love gets stumped at the line of scrimmage. He is not going to make the first down, and Holly gets up off the bottom of the pile, and along with him, Jared Remedies, and the Whitehouse defense holds.
Yep, Remedies really made that happen right there. He actually just stopped in the hole and waited. But I tell you what, Love would have been able to make it had he ducked his head and tried to push that pile at the initial contact. He basically stopped when he saw Remedies, as most logical men would do.
Yeah. Smart kids.
Yeah.
All right, 1st and 10 for Whitehouse. Mahomes will throw it out left side to Cheatham. Cheatham out of bounds at the 46, maybe 47-yard line. Going to be a gain of about 9 on the play for Whitehouse. They'll give him 8 to be 2nd down and 2. Ball spotted at the 47. And then Mahomes on 2nd down on the short yardage will hand it off to, I believe, Smith. Smith gets hit behind the line of scrimmage by number 92 for Marshall. It's Trey Valentine.
And Ryan Cheatham getting a couple of catches already tonight. And with the absence of Patterson, Ryan Cheatham, who basically a lot of the last couple of games, is going to get an opportunity for a lot more catches tonight.
3rd down from the 47-yard line. 3rd and 3 for Whitehouse. 3 wideouts lined up to the right side. Jalen Dews alone on the left side. Shamar Smith shifts over from the left to the right of Mahomes. Quick wide receiver screen out to the right side. And a quick run by Drew Smith. And he's going to get yardage inside the 45 down to the 42-yard line of Marshall for a 1st down and a gain of 11 yards.
Well, only his 4th reception all season long, but he's averaging 17 yards a catch. Drew Smith is in a reserve role.
From the 42, 1st and 10. Deep pass, left side, man wide open. Catches it, it goes out of bounds inside the 10 at the 7-yard line. It's a gain of 37 yards.
And that was incredibly close, too, Brian, because Jalen really did not know exactly where he was and was just able to get that left foot down. His left foot went out of bounds.
1st and goal for Whitehouse. Quick pass left side to Ryan Cheatham. Cheatham inside the 5, down to about the 4-yard line.
Well, good closer from Dontavius Boyd. So for Marshall, the Mavericks are trying their best at least stop or at least slow down this offense, which really nobody's been able.
Not all year long. Ball at the 3, 2nd down and goal. Mahomes throws the fade left side. It's caught. Jalen Dews, touchdown Whitehouse. Patrick Mahomes with his 13th touchdown pass of the year.
Well, the athletic ability of that young man, Jalen Deuce, who got thrown at a few times last week, and he and Patrick were not able to really connect the way they want to on a regular basis, but that's just athlete versus athlete right there. As Deuce went up and reached over a defender to get that touchdown.
Now it's going to be the kick by Krim. It's up and it is good. And with 2:44 to go here in the first quarter, Whitehouse 14, Marshall nothing on Hot 107.3 Jams. Back in 1 minute.
For a sale or where the sales will be, go to keepwhitehousebeautiful.com.
Hey, football fans, this is Larry Krantz with the Texas Department of Transportation. Here's
52-yard drive by Whitehouse, and Mahomes with a 3-yard touchdown pass to Deuce. Makes it 14-0. Now a short kick taken by Marshall, and number 42, Kevin Moorhead, receives the ball at the 33-yard line, and that's where Marshall's going to take over. 1st and 10 with 2:40 to play here in the first quarter. They trail in the ball game right now by a score of 14-0. And this is what we've talked about. This is the MO right now for a Marshall team that's young, and Clint Harper's trying to build something there, is that if you want to get on Marshall and get them down early, you can crush them. But if you don't get off to a fast start, they got a lot of fight in them. But right now they are down by 2 touchdowns. They throw a quick pass out to the right side. It's caught. And down the sidelines goes Mitchell Leonard, and Leonard is going to be close to the first down as they spot the ball at about the 42-yard line.
Yeah, you know, if we broke this down and had a Dairy Queen player of the quarter, it'd be Sabian Lacey right now.
You like Sabian Lacey? Right?
Well, if you keep playing like this.
Okay. 2nd down and 1 for Marshall. Now they send 3 wideouts to the left. 3-man line for Whitehouse. Slant pass, caught at the 50, and then going inside the 50 in Whitehouse territory down to the 46-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 12 on the play, and a first down catch by Mitchell Leonard. Nice strike by the quarterback, Hart.
Yeah, Justin's not having any problem gripping the football, bro. He's throwing some darts in there right now.
So at the 47-yard line in Whitehouse territory, quick pass out to the right side this time. It's dropped by Trell Patton. Incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Well, that may have the first remnants of the rainfall right now. It's about the time you and I started talking about the rain had stopped. It started again.
I want to see you out there with it raining like it did at about noon today. Sideways. I just want to see if you float.
With my sideline jacket.
Yeah, exactly. 2nd down and 10 now. Back to throw. Hart throws it out right side. Caught at the 42-yard line, spinning and going out of bounds at the 42. Once again is Mitchell Leonard, who is the primary receiver on this drive. They'll spot him at 43 for a gain of 4 on the play. So now it's 3rd down and 5 for Marshall.
We can't forget Justin Hart threw for 155 yards a week ago and had a couple of scores as well. So this kid can play.
He played all year as a true freshman last year. So he's got experience. Hart pump fake, throws it right side, high and wide at the sideline. Intended again for Leonard. Brooks was out there, as was Isaiah Burton. Incomplete, so now it is 4th down for Marshall. And 6 yards to go at their 43.
Were they about at this same spot when they went this last drive, Brian?
I believe they were. Maybe just a few yards further. But it was a much shorter yardage at that time. I think it was like a 4th and 2 at that point. This time it's 4th and 6. The odds are not so great. 4 wideouts. Ball is on the near hash mark. Long time looking on the sidelines. They're not going to even try this. I think they wanted to see if they could get Whitehouse to jump. And then Marshall calls a timeout. Let's take that timeout with them. 1 minute. 1 minute timeout on Hot 107.3 Jams.
John at McCaigforthepeople.com.
Bank approval and vehicle purchased at list price. Negative equity may increase amount financed. Vehicle purchase price affects actual discount. Offers may not combine.
4th down pass. Hart throws it deep to Leonard. It's caught and dropped at the 3-yard line, and the flag goes down. and it looks like it's going to be holding against Marshall. That timeout brought to you by Telco Plus Credit Union, your financial solution. It is holding against Marshall, so the 4th down try, no good. They decline the penalty, and Whitehouse takes over once again defensively. They had a one-on-one matchup out there with Leonard. The ball was on the mark, but I believe Nate Brooks was out there. Isaiah Burton was out there and broke up the pass.
Yeah, they don't have any weakness in that defensive backfield when you got guys like Isaiah Burton and Nate Brooks back there, because their speed and athleticism. There's really not any matchup yet for them.
So Whitehouse at their own 42 to start this drive. Mahomes drops straight back to throw. Lots of time, throws a deep ball over the middle, and it's well overthrown, intended for Jake Parker, who had a step on to Corey Robinson. Parker expected to be the leading receiver on the team this year. The guy drawing most of the attention defensively, and Coach Adam Cook and I were talking about that. I was asking if Parker was frustrated by the coverage. He says he's one of the best leaders on the team. All he wants to do is win. 3 wideouts this time on 2nd and 10. They're at the right side. Mahomes checks the sideline for the call. Shamar Smith is in the backfield, lines up on the right side. Mahomes in the shotgun, throws a quick screen out there to the right side, to the 50, to the 40, 35, 30. Dragged down from behind at the 26-yard line is Drew Smith. It's a 32-yard gain and a first down. Smith's got some go, too.
Oh, and he's already had his 2nd catch tonight, and my gosh, he's found some alleys, he's picked up some speed, and he's really turned it on. He's having a good ball game.
Quick kid. Now they'll hand it off this time to Shamar Smith. Smith sweeping left, gets knocked down at the 20-yard line by Darius Brightman.
And we were expecting to possibly see Vincent Dunning back on the field by now, Brian, but he is still sitting at the end of the bench with that ankle tape.
So from the 22, Mahomes drops back. He looked for the screen on the right side. Nowhere to throw. Now he's going to run. He's scrambling around to the 15, inside to the 10, still on his feet at the 6-yard line before he is bumped out of bounds over there by number 17, Jaquavian Dabbs.
Well, I think maybe Dabbs might not like Patrick Mahomes because he took off from 2 yards deep in the end zone and just beelined for that guy's midsection and put a pop on him at about the 7.
That was a 17-yard gain by Patrick Mahomes, who again is playing on a broken foot. He wears a boot all week long, and it's just a matter of how he handles the pain, and he's running gingerly, but he's still quick. Mahomes now drops back to throw. Slant, and the receiver intended on the end zone. His feet came out from under him. The pass was intended for Andrew Liberty, who was wide open in the back of the end zone.
You know, it's the first time that I've seen what you had basically pointed out about 5 times too, Brian, where Patrick Mahomes literally, as he steps into his throw, he will just put enough pressure on his foot to at least even out his equilibrium, and then he will pull back on that left leg.
Well, now it is 2nd down and goal, and they play action fake. Mahomes rolls right. Now he throws it out the right flat. The ball was a little too high for Cheatham, who I thought maybe could catch that football, but it was a little high. So it's 3rd down, and that's the thing about it, because he's not able to really step on that foot and drive the ball. That affects his accuracy some. I mean, he's still putting up phenomenal numbers, but they're not what you expect of Patrick Mahomes, as crazy as that sounds. Now they throw the back shoulder dart this time to Jalen Dews. It's off to the left and incomplete. So now it's 4th down and goal at the 8-yard line.
Yeah, that was a miscommunication by those two because Jalen Dews had the corner. He went about 3 yards deep in the end zone, and Mahomes was expecting him to turn around and come back to the pylon and just did not do it, kept going towards the end zone.
Yeah, he threw a fastball, and usually when you throw that pass, you put some air under it, and so obviously they were not on the same page. Krim is going to try the field goal from 14 yards. It's a 24-yard field goal, and it is good. And so with 2:10 to play here in the first quarter, it's now Whitehouse 17, Marshall nothing on Hot 107.3 Jams. Back in a moment. The rain is coming down now at Whitehouse Wildcat Stadium, and the kickoff by Blackburn is taken by Kevin Moorhood. who falls down right there at about the 33-yard line. And so tell me, Kenny, how's it feeling out there? You're the guy that wanted to be outside.
Well, thank goodness that I got my information laminated tonight. I brought my little safety rag.
It's driving rain right now.
Oh, yeah. It's coming down. It is thin, but this is the heaviest rain we've had so far tonight.
I saw all the umbrellas again, those stylish, formal homecoming umbrellas tonight popping up everywhere. And Marshall with the ball, 1st and 10. So it's a great night for a funeral, great night for ducks, great night for high school football. And Kirkendall is back in at quarterback, and he's going to try to run the Wildcat again, and he's going to go nowhere because as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, Reggie Long was all over him, wearing him like a formal tuxedo.
Yeah, really. Honestly, I think Reggie's 28 years old. I'm telling you, the guy's a man-child out here. He is built like a linebacker.
Well, as you talk about how much you think he's old enough to be your dad, it is in the end of the first quarter, and Whitehouse leads Marshall at the end of one, 17-0 on Hot 107.3 Jams.
You get? I don't know. My mom wrote me a note. Hey, kiddo, I made you a special turkey sandwich. Mechanically
Standards. That's why our turkey contains no parts, no fillers, no surprises. So when it comes to feeding your kids, trust Boar's Head and compromise elsewhere.
Try a slice of Boar's Head premium deli meats and cheese in select supermarkets, gourmet stores, and fine eateries.
Back to play now. Marshall with a short gain to the 34-yard line, so it'll be 3rd down and 8 for the Mavericks, as again the rain has kind of slowed down a little bit, just a sprinkle now, but the umbrellas are still out. And back in, Justin Hart rolls right and sacked from behind. In on the stop is that Chris Reese? Chris Reese all over his back and brings him down for a loss on the play back to the 25-yard line. 9-yard loss on the play. Chris Reese with the sack. 4th down now. And about 16 for Marshall, and they will, of course, have to punt the football.
I was wondering, first of all, if their punter was healthy, since they went for it on 4th and 6 earlier.
These spread teams, they'll go for it anywhere. There's a whistle. Illegal procedure is the call against Marshall. Kenny, can you make out the number of the punter? I need a magnifying glass.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be Madak Reyes.
Who is it?
It'll be Reyes, number 18.
Thank you. I need that number. Okay.
Well, these numbers, honestly, are for everybody, that aren't home. The numbers on the Marshall jerseys are tiny. These are not normal big numbers.
So they back it up 5 yards. Line of scrimmage to the 20. Another flag against Marshall. This is going to be another illegal procedure. Clint Harper not happy with it. Letting the official know about it. He says that the Whitehouse defense is jumping, which would be encroachment. That's not what the official's calling, though.
No.
Madak Reyes is the punter. So they'll back it up the line of scrimmage now, the 15-yard line. So unless Reyes is the second coming of Ray Guy, Whitehouse should get great field position here. They're coming after it, but Reyes, he got a good one. And it bounces at the Marshall 48-yard line. So not a bad punt, just they kept backing it up because of penalties. It ended up being a 32-yard punt, and Whitehouse is going to take over in Marshall territory at the 48-yard line.
And as the rain starts to fall a little heavier now, too, Brian, I'm telling you, mark it up for Reyes, because I'm telling you, the kid can't 5'6", maybe 150 pounds, and he just pounded one out from inside his own 10-yard line.
Whitehouse now 1st and 10 at the Marshall 48-yard line. Mahomes, quick pass to Dews on the left side. Dews gets a short gain up to about the 44-yard line. And it's about 7. It's almost like a running play. We've heard that all week from Bill Callahan. Those kind of quick bubble screens and wide receiver screens are basically like running plays, aren't they?
Yeah, they're going to call an official's timeout.
Got an injury over on the far side there.
Kid down the far side, but...
All right, let's take that timeout while we're doing that. Let's take a 1-minute timeout on Hot 107.3 Jams. This timeout brought to you by Telco Plus Credit Union, your financial solution. Back in a moment.
Waiting isn't always convenient, but with the Chase mobile app, you can turn downtime into a time-saving way to manage your money. Even pay an IOU with Chase Quick Pay while waiting to board your next flight. The award-winning Chase mobile app, so you can bank on the go.
Attention passengers, flight number 5234 departing from gate D12 has been canceled.
Even when you're not going anywhere for a while. The Chase mobile app, so you can.
Chase Quick Deposit is subject to eligibility and deposits are not immediately available. Chase Quick Pay transfer is available within 1 to 5 business days. Visit chase.com to enroll for eligible mobile devices, limitations, terms, conditions, and details. Message and data rates apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Pat Mahomes on 3rd down and 3 fires a dart to the 10-yard line, caught by Jake Parker to the 10-yard line. A 35-yard gain by Jake Parker. That was preceded by a run by Trey Staples. So it's 1st and goal, Whitehouse at the 10. Pass into the end zone. Parker catches it. Touchdown, Whitehouse. Pat Mahomes, 10 yards to Jake Parker.
Well, that was almost exactly like we saw the Jalen Deuce touchdown on the other side of the field. He literally just threw it up and allowed Jake to use his athletic ability to hurdle one of the defenders and reach in over the defender and pick up that touchdown pass.
The difference, though, is that he put some air under this one. That one to Deuce was just on a flat line. It was a fastball. This one, Parker had a chance to go up and play jump ball. Now they're going to run a fake and a pass into the end zone. And it's caught. It's caught out there by number 9, Ryan Cheatham. The pass was thrown by Jake Parker, the holder on the play, for the 2-point conversion. And so Whitehouse now with a 25-0 lead over Marshall with 8:34 to go on Hot 107.3 Jams. Back in a moment.
For detailed game odds and information, visit txlottery.org or call 1-800-37-LOTTO. Must be 18 or older to purchase a ticket. The Texas Lottery supports Texas education.
48-yard touchdown drive by Whitehouse. Patrick Mahomes with a 10-yard touchdown pass to Jake Parker. 2-point try was good. Short kickoff now to Marshall, taking it to 10, to the 15, 20, 30, 35. Going into the 38-yard line as he runs out of bounds over there. And it's Kirkendall, number 15, who again came into the ball game with some ridiculous numbers. 233 yards in kickoff returns in the first 3 games. And so Marshall's going to take over now with 8:23 to play here in the first half, and the ball is going to be at their own 38-yard line. I'm sorry, Kenny.
One thing the NFL has missed, and I hate the fact that they're not returning kicks anymore, but anytime you get a kid that can run it back 95 yards like Kirkendall did a week ago, that's one of the most exciting parts about high school football.
It's a weapon. It's a massive weapon. Marshall comes out 1st and 10 at their own 38-yard line, 4 wideouts. Hart throws a quick pass out there. He's hit as soon as he catches it at the 42-yard line. Dominique Holly in on that play along with Isaiah Burton. Good defense on the play as the receiver had little or no room. And I'm sorry, but I missed the number again. They're really hard to read these numbers to tell you who caught it. So from the 42-yard line, 2nd down and 5, they'll run the jet sweep this time. And he's going to get to the 1st down as he gets to midfield. And he's going to be brought down there at the 50 for a 12-yard gain. And I'll check the number in just a moment. It may be Kirkendall that ran.
It's going to be little Reyes, Brian.
Reyes ran it this time. Very good. Thank you.
At 5'9", 230. So
at midfield now, Marshall has the football 1st and 10. DeAndre Osborne lines up out here to the near left side, and they'll hand it off to the running back right up the middle, and he will drive the pile to the 45-yard line for a 5-yard gain. And I believe that's going to be number 5. That is DeAndre Osborne.
I don't know how you're doing it, Brian, because even on the sideline, these numbers, I'm telling you, have got to be like 8-inch numbers on this jersey.
Jason Bailey's giving me some help in some cases, believe me. Younger eyes. Boy, do I need them. 2nd down and 6 now as the ball spotted at the Whitehouse 46-yard line. They'll hand it off to Osborne again, going right side. Just a drive play, and he'll fight to the 41-yard line for a 5-yard gain. About a yard short of a first down, though.
With 6:35 to go in the first half also, this is probably the fastest first half we've seen in some time, even though neither team huddles. Marshall takes every bit of their 25-second play clock to call a play.
3rd down and about a half a yard. And they will hand it off. Osborne spins. I don't think he's going to get the first down. Reggie Long spun him down by the jersey. Oh, there's a flag that went down afterwards. Now, what is that about?
Well, it was on the far side also.
It came well after the play, though, that the flag flew.
Yeah. They're talking to the Marshall captains right now, but
maybe face mask? I mean, I'm just guessing.
Well, it's a long ways. The flag came a long ways away from the play.
All right, let's see. The official's coming over. It's a personal foul. It is unsportsmanlike conduct against Whitehouse. So maybe somebody said something, but that flag came out after the play was dead. So
yeah,
might have been a little trash talking.
That may be against Reggie Long, Brian, because there was a period, a tackle earlier in the first period where Reggie got up and celebrated a little too much. Matter of fact, one of the officials actually warned Nate Brooks also, because Nate is so fiery when he makes a tackle.
So they move the ball to the Marshall 26-yard line, and they're going to give it off to the right side. And again, a nice run down to the 16-yard line by number 5, DeAndre Osborne, who's come in and give the Marshall Mavericks a spark here. They'll actually spot him at the 17, so it's going to be officially a 9-yard gain, and it'll be 2nd down and 1 for Marshall with 5:46 to play here in the second quarter. Kirkendall back in at quarterback. So watch for him to run the football. And he will, sweeping right, cuts it up the field, inside the 10, to the 5, still running to the 4, to the goal line. He gets brought down from behind at the 1-yard line. I'm telling you, Kirkendall is scary fast.
Yeah, and that time Chris Reese got caught on the inside too. Reese actually started outside, thought that Kirkendall was going to go outside, and he made just one little slip, hip shake a little bit, and just shook Reese right off and made a big gain.
Got 16 yards out of it, and Kirkendall is going to stay in at quarterback, it looks like, as he checks the sidelines, and Justin Hart is nowhere to be seen as Coach Clint Harper and the staff give him the signal.
Yeah, they're going to have to call a timeout. There's only 5 seconds on the play clock.
Yep, they are calling timeout right now. That's what the coach is calling right now. So let's take that timeout with him. Can we take a 1-minute timeout on Hot 107.3 Jams Timeout, brought to you by Telco Plus Credit Union, your financial solution. 1st and goal for Marshall at the 1-yard line. Kirkendall at the quarterback, and Kirkendall is going to try to get to the line of scrimmage. He's going to get dropped for a loss on the play by Jared Remedies, the first man through, who just blew by the offensive lineman to drop Kirkendall in the backfield.
Yeah, Remedies is just manhandling his man right across the line of scrimmage. And he's going to come off with a breather.
And they will lose yardage back to the 3-yard line. So it's a 2nd and goal now from the 3. Kirkendall stays in at quarterback. The run threat. Osborne is his running back. They have a wing back. They have movement everywhere as well, so that's going to be a legal procedure against the Whitehouse, against Marshall. That is a drive killer. That's the kind of thing that Coach Clint Harper is going to be working to try to clean up as he gets his team on the winning track.
Yeah, and unfortunately for this football team, they're really trying to basically put this program back on the map, too, and they're only averaging a little under 14 points a game right now in their first 3 games. So getting close to the end, inside that red zone is a pretty big thing for them.
We also have another penalty as well, which looks like an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, which may be against Whitehouse. A little extra pushing, according to Matt Houston, our guest spotter tonight, unpaid, of course.
Well, maybe we can pay him for the game and we can buy him some shoes.
You can
Brian.
pay him. I got to feed him.
We're going to buy him
Knock
some
yourself
shoes.
out. If you want to, I'm all about charity now. If you want to go that route.
Okay, this is going to end up having to cost somebody. Coach Cook he's asking the officials. He wants to know exactly who it was and there has been a little bit more jubilation in this game. And as Brian, you know from years of doing this, when you play a team that on paper you are superior to and you understand it from a kid standpoint, we're talking about 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. A lot of times it is tough to get them to basically control their emotions.
Well, let me tell you, somebody's emotions are pretty high right now. That's Adam Cook, who is hot enough that he's calling a timeout right now because he wants to talk to the officials as much as he wants to talk to his team, because they've had 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, and there's no head coach talking to players right now. Head coach is over there talking to 2 officials right now, Kenny.
Yeah, and this is the one thing everybody has to understand too. This Adam Cook is not a fiery coach.
I just know Adam Cook is not real thrilled with the explanation he got from the officials after 2 straight unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. And so now Kirkendall stays in at quarterback, and he'll hand it off this time to Osborne, and Osborne's going to fight to about the 2-yard line. They'll mark it between the 2 and the 1, so now it's going to be, that was a second down, so that was a first down after the unsportsmanlike conduct. That was automatic first. That's what makes that such a killer for Whitehouse. Because not only was it the penalty against Whitehouse, but that made it an automatic first down. Exactly. So now it's second down and goal, and the ball's at the 2-yard line. And Hart is back in the game at quarterback now, and he handed it off. And Osborne, I'm telling you, I've not seen Whitehouse's run defense playing any better than it's played tonight. Reggie Long stuffed that line, stuffed the hole, and there was nowhere for Osborne to go.
Yeah, the front 4 basically of Marshall is really, you look at them size-wise, they look like they not only match up, but they're bigger than Whitehouse. And I mean, Chet Munden literally looks like he's going to go about 6'5", about 280. And they probably average around 260 on that front line, but they are getting manhandled by the front 4 Whitehouse.
Third down and goal now at the 5-yard line. Hart in at quarterback. Looking left side. Now he's going to run. Nowhere to go. Sacked. Back to the line of scrimmage. And it is Caleb Shackelford who caught it. Pocket collapsed on top of Justin Hart almost immediately. He never had a chance.
Yeah, Shackelford was in on the last tackle too, and he has had pretty darn good pursuit on that outside. He's coming in and playing that outside, the right defensive end. He's even popped back and played a 5th linebacker at times, but Shackelford is finding some pretty good luck right now coming in from that right side.
Frustrating drive for the Marshall Mavericks. A lot of fun for the Whitehouse defense, all things considered. They're going to try, Marshall is, a field goal of 25 yards by Emmanuel Acuna. Acuna Matata kicks it up, and it is good. And with 2:12 to go, it is Whitehouse 25, Marshall 3 on Hot 107.3 Jams. Back with 2:12 to go here in the first half. What has basically been all Whitehouse, except that was almost over a 6-minute drive by the Marshall Mavericks. The short kickoff was taken by number 11, Joseph Klein for Whitehouse. He hit a knee, and Whitehouse will have good field position at their own 30-yard line.
As hard as they work, too, on the drive, I'm sure the coaching staff's got to be disappointed they didn't get 6 right there.
They went backwards from the time they had 1st and goal at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, but Coach Dunn's defense, by golly, they got a lot to brag about right there, because
now we got a flag, and that must be Adam Cook that got that one. Adam Cook is still wearing out that official, and the flag went up in the air with emphasis. I know it wasn't Adam Cook. It was one of the assistant coaches who is giving that official what for. And now we're going to see our 3rd unsportsmanlike conduct penalty of the night, but this time it's going to be on the coaching staff.
I think it may have been Coach Clemens or one of the offensive coaches.
Oh, boy.
Had come out and was talking to Anthony Stone, the head linesman.
Well, as I said earlier, whatever beef the Whitehouse coaching staff has with the officials, it obviously is escalating rather than cooling off.
Well, this is definitely when when the coaching staff has to get the team together and get them to just start over and talk about it and figure out what
they need to get the coaches together at this point.
Exactly.
They're the ones that are hot now.
But once in a while, you have to have a family meeting. And you have to tell them that every once in a while, Dad and Mom, or, every once in a while we mess up, we make mistakes. Sometimes we yell too much. Well, see, we can get flags too, guys. So we're all even now.
So apparently, Adam Cook gesturing up to the press box now, trying to get something fixed on the maybe on the time of the scoreboard. Okay, it's 1:54 now. He was asking about the time on the clock. Coach Cook has got to be the guy with the clear head right now because everybody else seems to be losing theirs. 1st and 10 for Whitehouse. Mahomes back to throw. Slings it out right side to Cheatham. Cheatham dropped out there at the 18-yard line by number 24, Dontavius Boyd, after about a 4-yard gain. Ball's at the 16-yard line. Mahomes back to throw. Flyers at left side. Off the hands of Ryan Cheatham this time. Incomplete.
The inside slot receiver is Liberty. Andrew Liberty getting some playing time right now. His first time on the field. We've seen him the llast couple of games. 5'8", 160-pound senior. Playing just inside Jake Parker.
Trey Staples still in at running back. We have not seen anything of Vincent Dunning since early first quarter. Now they set up the screen. It's an inside screen to Dews. Caught at the 18. Runs to the 25-yard line before he is spun down there. And the Whitehouse defender stays on the ground for a bit before he finally gets up. And he got twisted up underneath the receiver. Dews to Corey Robinson. Obviously in some pain, but shaking it off. He's staying in the game. But it was good for a first down to the 25-yard line with 1:13 to play here in the first half. Mahomes back to throw. Pressure up the middle. Caught, sacked at the 20-yard line. The pressure was all coming from the left side, and the pocket started to collapse. And finally, the man that was in on and making most of the pressure was Rashad Williams, number 35.
Yeah, Brad Cook, offensive coordinator, is seeing something he's obviously not very happy with. That was actually a offensive line sack as Mahomes was trying to look for some room to actually move around, maybe even rush for a few yards, but ran into most of his offensive line. Or not, there's 2 picnic umbrellas up in the stands right now.
Mahomes back to throw on 2nd down and 14 now, trying to set up a screen. Pressure coming. He gets caught in the grasp. He's trying to break out, and he can't. Marshall charging to the ball, and he goes down back at the 16-yard line. Pocket collapse, and then there's lots of pushing and shoving and talking going on, and it's getting just a little bit chippy out there, and these officials are going to have their hands full if this keeps going on.
Yeah, they may just let this clock run out for the half. They've actually got about a 4-second differential. They're going to have to run a play.
So it's 3rd down and long now, 3rd and 14 from the 21. Mahomes floats to his left, throws it as far and high as he can go on the right side. Ball's overthrown, intended for Andrew Liberty, who was double covered out there. Main man out there on the coverage was Jaquavian Dabbs. And so we got 14 seconds remaining in the first half, and it's 4th down and 14 now. Mahomes is staying in the ball game. Coleman Patterson would be the punter normally, but he's out with mono. So Mahomes may be the punter. With a bad foot, I don't know if I'd like that or not. And oh man, he got a nice one too. Long, and there's nobody back there to take it. And then it takes this massive roll in favor of Whitehouse. So with the line of scrimmage being the 16, it's going to die at the 12-yard line. And that's going to be, you'll like this, a 73-yard punt to end the first half as Whitehouse leads at halftime 25-3 over the Marshall Mavericks. Cash Pawn, Highway 110 North at Whitehouse. We loan more cash. Back in a couple of minutes for halftime. It's Whitehouse 25, Marshall 3 on Hot 107.3 Jams. Now over Liberty Ilo, 8-0 at halftime. Mineola and Quitman tied at 7 at the half. Second quarter, Spring Hill leads Brook Hill 7-6. Also, other scores, ARP over Troop 6-0 in the second quarter. Halftime, Elkhart leads Grapeland 35-0. Garrison 14-0 over San Augustine. They had to move that ball game to San Augustine because of the severe weather and the flooding. Halftime, Shelbyville leads Groveton 14-10. Harmony over West Rusk in the second quarter, 12-0. Hawkins is leading Cumbie 20-0 in the second quarter. It's also New Boston over Paris North Lamar 20-0 at halftime. First quarter, Winsboro leads Mount Vernon 7-0. That's a look at some of the scores we've got around East Texas right now. We'll recap all the scores for you. TK Gorman leads Tyler All Saints 27-0 in the second quarter. And that's a look at all those games. A lot of games got moved to tomorrow because of the storms. Matthew Houston with us right now. You mentioned some things you saw in the first half concerning pass protection with Patrick Mahomes.
Well, specifically on that last drive, we saw Patrick Mahomes get sacked twice, and most teams would be blitzing to the blind side of the quarterback, but in Patrick Mahomes' case, with a broken right foot, they're blitzing to his weak foot side so that he can't plant off that right foot, step back, and escape pressure. They're bringing the flat defender in a cover 4 look out and sending an inside linebacker inside. So they're really overloading the Whitehouse offensive line and taking advantage of Patrick Mahomes' great disadvantage in his broken foot.
Hand me that stat sheet over there, far right, and we'll just very quickly let you know that at the half, Patrick Mahomes has thrown for 205 yards. He's got a couple of touchdown passes. Jake Parker has caught 10 passes for 64 yards and a touchdown. He's also thrown a 2-point conversion. And right now, that's the main stat that we can tell you about. As we get ready to start this second half of play, as we get ready for that, Marshall is going to kick off.
You know, that may have been the shortest homecoming celebration I think I've ever been involved in.
And we're grateful for that tonight, too, as well. That kick was out of bounds for Marshall, and so that's going to mean a penalty against the Marshall Mavericks, and Marshall is going to find Whitehouse starting in great field position as they'll spot it out. Once they get everything sorted out there, Patrick Mahomes and company come back out on the field. Again, the illegal procedure because of the kick out of bounds. They'll start at 40 in great field position, leading 25-3. For those of you who say we don't give the score enough. By the way, it's 25-3. Quick pass out to the right side to Jake Parker. Parker spinning and fighting to the 50-yard line. That's going to be good for a first down on a 10-yard gain. Again, Austin Dickerson, Sam Moore, Gustavo Garza, Brandon Bobo, and Marcus Brown. And now they'll hand it off. Dominic Holly. Holly across the 40 to the 30. And then he goes out of bounds inside the 25-yard line at the 22-yard line. It's a gain of 28 yards and a first down for Whitehouse.
Dan, I apologize. We had such a short halftime, gang. I wasn't able to get down on the field and get Coach Adam Cook's thoughts at halftime. We wanted to get a catch-up on Vincent Dunning's injury.
I wanted to hear about the penalties. Now, pass out into the end zone, and it's incomplete. It was a fade on the far side to Dews, and he caught it out of bounds. Yeah, I really was concerned about the two personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct penalties against his players, and then the issue with the coaching staff and the officials. I love conflict. Second down and 10. Dominique Holly takes the fake, and then Mahomes will keep it on the read option, and he's brought down from behind by Dontavius Boyd. Again, the Marshall defense, Trey Valentine, Darius Brightman, Rashad Williams, and Antonio Washington. The line, Micah Smith, Brandon Aldridge, and Blaine Hayes. The linebackers, will check the secondary in a minute. Third down and 7, a quick pass to Dews at the 20-yard line, and he's knocked off his feet. Again, a great open field tackle by Boyd to keep it from becoming a long gain on that inside receiver screen. So now it's going to be fourth down and 6 from the 20-yard line. Mahomes back to throw. Looking, nowhere to go. Caught from behind. Ball comes out. Recovered by Whitehouse. Sack on the play from behind by Blaine Hayes, who caught Mahomes. And Whitehouse is going to turn the ball over on downs to Marshall.
That was very much a coverage sack on that play. Not much of a blitz by Marshall, but no one open downfield for Mahomes to find.
Kenny, you've been replaced. I don't think Kenny's there.
Dead Mike.
I see. Kenny replacing batteries. 10:29 to play here in the third quarter. Whitehouse leads 25-3. Marshall has the ball at their own 24. And they'll hand it off this time. Whoa! Slung down is the running back, and it was big number 90 Darian Thompson who decided to swing John Love around like he was a rag doll.
Big Costin Wallace down on the play, maybe cramping.
So now there's a man down on the play.
Costin Wallace.
Is that Costin Wallace, the defensive lineman down on the play? They're looking at him. Let's take a timeout with him. 25-3 Whitehouse over Marshall on Hot 107.3 Jams. Back in a moment.
This is Todd Graves, founder of Raising Cane's. I knew when I started Cane's there were a lot of other chicken fingers out there, but here's the difference. To some, it's just one more thing on the menu. To us, it's the only thing. Concentrating on one thing and doing it better than anyone else. That's our one love. So when someone says, Todd, isn't there more than life than just chicken fingers? I just smile because I know this is someone who's never had Raising Cane's. Raising Cane's chicken fingers.
Now open in Tyler at South Broadway and Loop 323.
Back to play Marshall now after Wallace has helped off the field for Whitehouse. They'll hand it off on the right side. Flag goes down in the middle of the field as John Love takes the handoff inside from Justin Hart. And we'll see what the penalty is. Usually you might see holding there. We'll wait for the official to come out and give us the indication right now. It's personal foul against Whitehouse. Face mask. 15-yard penalty. Moves the ball way out. They're going to step it off to the 40-yard line. So Marshall now in good shape, good field position. And DeAndre Osborne back in at running back. Kirkendall's been pretty quiet in this ballgame other than just a handful of plays. And he was advertised as their major weapon offensively. 1st and 10 now. They'll hand it off to Osborne. Osborne up the middle. Osborne slammed down after a short gain to the 44-yard line. Gain of 4. And as we see folks getting up off the pile, I believe Nate Brooks it was the first man in to make contact coming up from the safety spot. Again, Brooks stepped in for Justin Dunning, who's out for the season after suffering a knee injury. 2nd down now. Number 5. And the ball at the 44-yard line. And a flag goes down, and this could be illegal procedure against Marshall. Back it up 5 yards.
The Whitehouse defensive staff has moved. Nate Brooks over from the cornerback position, replaced him with Isaiah Burton, moved him inside so they can have an extra man in the box to stop the attack from Kirkendall and Osborne.
2nd down and 10.
I think the rain has finally subsided enough where I could dry off my microphone.
Oh, is that what happened?
I think so.
Okay, 2nd and 10 now. Play action fake. Now they hand it off inside. Going to the 44-yard line was Osborne once again. And again, in on the stop was Chris Reese. As the Whitehouse defense has done a good job against the Marshall rushing game tonight. 8:41 to play here now. 3rd down and 7. And the ball at the 43-yard line of Marshall. Mavericks have the ball trailing 25-3 to Whitehouse on homecoming. Home opener tonight. Kenny, I don't know if you heard it earlier, but Nacogdoches leads Carthage 16-14 at halftime.
Good gracious.
Nacogdoches might be for real. They beat Lufkin last week. 3rd down and 7 now. Hart throws it to Kirkendall. He dropped it. It was a slant pass in on the coverage. Number 26, Jacoby Lacey, and Savion Lacey as well. Check that, Reese. And so they converge, and now that's going to mean that Marshall's going to have to punt the football. Marshall with a 4th down at their own 43-yard line.
Well, two quick possessions for the Mavericks also early in this second half, and neither one of them they're able to cash in or even get it close to the red zone.
Reyes is going to punt. He's back inside his 30 at the 28. Gets a high kick. Short. Bounces at the 36. Takes a big Marshall roll. Keeps rolling and is down at the 23-yard line. It's going to be a 34-yard punt with no return for the Marshall Mavericks. And Whitehouse is going to take over with 8:02 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. And they lead at 25-3 here in their home opener.
Well, this has not been a real good week for the Dunning brothers, obviously, with the loss of Justin a couple of weeks ago for the season with that ACL injury, and now Vincent going down and did not come back out padded up the second half.
Mahomes slings it out sidearm to the back coming out of the backfield. Staples gets across the 25 to about the 26-yard line. 3-yard gain on the play. 4 yards, actually. It'll be 2nd down and 6. And Mahomes with a quick pass over the middle, this time a slant, as Mahomes went down hard and a flag went down. The pass was dropped by Ryan Cheatham, and Mahomes may have been hit late. Roughing, it's an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Marshall. I think it was roughing the passer.
And Patrick came up holding his right hip, too, Ryan. I'm not sure if it was from the hit or from the fall.
Well,
now he's shaking off his throwing arm.
He's a little gimpy right now. Again, he's got a broken bone in his foot. And we were told before the ball game a little bit of a groin issue as well. So he's probably not feeling up to par. This team needs a week off. Quick pass out left side. Ryan Cheatham caught it at the 45 to the 50. Still on his feet at the 45-yard line. And so Cheatham is going to pick up the 1st down and a 13-yard gain. They'll actually spot him at the 46 to 11-yard gain.
Well, a great play by Cheatham also because he was already knocked down, got up, put his arm down, and kept the tackle and kept it running.
Now they'll sweep Trey Staples to the right. Staples will be dropped at the 41-yard line by number 34, Keontae Jackson, and number 44, Blaine Hayes. Number 32. 2nd down and what looks like about 5 from the 41. Mahomes back to throw. Looks left now. He'll run right. Looking, trying to find some room to run. Gets hit at the 36-yard line. Fights to the 35. And he'll go down there. Brought down by number 43 that I don't have on my roster. But it's nice to know you.
Looks like we got Kenneth Taylor as 43. If it's actually a 43.
Roster than I've got there. All right.
Well, the number might actually be 79, as far as we know.
Okay, we've got like 9 different rosters here, and one of them actually has his name, Kenneth Taylor. All right, quick move up the middle. Dominique Holly bursts up the middle, crosses the 20, and goes down there. Dominique Holly shot through there and got 15 yards. 1st and 10 Whitehouse right up to the line of scrimmage. They don't take the pedal off. Quick pass right side. Jake Parker. Parker down at the 18-yard line. Just a gain of 2 on the play. 6:27 to play here. 3rd quarter, Whitehouse 25-3 over Marshall. 2nd down and 8. They'll hand it off to Holly, right up the middle. Holly at the 20, at the 15, brought down at the 14-yard line, stopped on the play by number 35, Rashad Williams. 3rd down and 5 now. They'll mark the ball at the 15-yard line. Mahomes back to throw, looks left, flag goes down. Now he's got to get flushed out of the pocket, coverage, looks downfield, fires into the end zone, caught, touchdown. Is that Deuce? No, it's Ryan Cheatham. Ryan Cheatham, as Mahomes was blasted. Now let's see what the flag is. Could be holding against Whitehouse.
It also could be a Marshall player, too many men on field. There was a guy running off the field right as Mahomes snapped the football.
Oh, boy. Well, let's find out. Mahomes is going over there to check with the officials as they try to sort this out. Clint Harper out at the numbers on the far side, wanting to know what's going on. It's offsides against Whitehouse. Touchdown against Marshall, rather. Touchdown, Whitehouse.
Well, Ryan worked a couple of times before Mahomes was able to find him.
15-yard touchdown pass from Cheatham to Cheatham. And Krim with the extra point, and with 5:44 to play in the 3rd quarter, Whitehouse extends their lead 32-3 over Marshall on Hot 107.3 Jams. Back in a moment.
Waiting is...
From the Allen Samuels Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Hyundai Studios, this is KISX, Whitehouse, Tyler, Longview, Jacksonville. Hot 107.3 Jams.
77-yard touchdown drive. Patrick Mahomes with the 15-yard touchdown pass to Ryan Cheatham. Point after's good. Whitehouse leads 32-3 with 5:43 to go. In the 3rd quarter, the kick by Blackburn goes through the back of the end zone, and it's raining again. And it's a touchback, and the umbrellas come out again. Boy, it's been a great homecoming night, hasn't it? Boy, if you're a fun fan and you love those moms and you love to get all dressed up for a game, this is the night for you.
But what's impressive, though, Brian, if you look out in the crowd, the 2 picnic umbrellas are hysterical because they've got to be covering up about 8 people at once.
It's a family affair.
Yeah, but there's really not a lot of people that have gone home. This really is a spectacular homecoming crowd.
Hey, you got the number 5 team in the state. What do you want to go home for?
Nothing. Nothing.
Even though it's just miserable outside. So they'll start at the 25. That's the throw is Hart, and Hart gets blown up back there by Joseph Klein. He never had a chance because Klein seemed like a track star with about a 30-yard dash, and he just came in and shot him down.
Yeah, and there was really nowhere to go. And the first time that anybody has basically unabated, and Hart really had nowhere to throw it to just to get rid of the football and nowhere to go. But Klein's just a great athlete.
They got a few of those on this team. And they're going to get put to the full test next week by number 1 Carthage. When they all come to Whitehouse Wildcat Stadium, you'll hear that on Hot 107.3 Jams. It is 2nd down and 20 now. And they'll do the jet sweep to Kirkendall. Kirkendall going right, now cuts back up, trying to find some running room. Fights back to the 14-yard line. So stays at about 2nd down and about, 3rd down and about 20 now, as they will spot the ball at 14.
It's a nice job by Savion Lacey, number 27, of keeping his outside contained and forcing the cutback so Travis Granberry could get in there on the tackle with a few other Whitehouse Wildcats.
Kenny, your job's in jeopardy, dude.
I got you.
Mine is too, for that matter, for letting him on. 3rd down now. Over the middle, deep pass, and it's almost intercepted by, oh my goodness, Nate Brooks had it in his hands and he couldn't hang on to it. Nate Brooks playing center field, running step for step with the intended receiver. Mitchell Leonard could not hang on to it. That was one he sure would have liked to have had.
Yeah. I think Hart was just taking a chance there. He threw into heavy coverage, and Nate is he's not about to let his territory go. Follows the receiver, who's covered up, but Nate actually had 3 chances to intercept that football. Thought he had it over the shoulder, tipped it about 3 times, actually tipped it as he was going to the ground.
So back is Reyes, standing on his own goal line to punt it. The line of scrimmage is the 15. And there's a whistle. It's been a rather officious game, if I do say so for myself.
Yeah, the Marshall coaching staff has just got to be about ready to punt themselves, because this is going to be the 4th time they've been called for a procedure, and they're not doing this at midfield either. You know, this is the 4th time it's happened inside their own 20.
So they'll back it up inside the 10 to the 9-yard line now, and once again, regardless of how good a punt Nunez gets off, you would think that Whitehouse is going to get great field position. Ball's going to bounce at the 35-yard line, and it will be downed at the 36. So that's only a 27-yard punt now in the rain. Whitehouse takes over in Whitehouse territory at the 35. Short field is not what you want to give one of the most explosive teams in the state.
Now, the wind is actually kicked up just a little bit, Brian. It's blowing south. It's actually at the back of the Whitehouse Wildcats right now. It's the reason Reyes was really not able to get anything on that punt. Plus, the air's a little thick with this nice little heavy mist we got going right now.
It looks like more than a mist. But you would know better than me. All right, they're going to throw the jet sweep coming right to Ryan Cheatham. Cheatham gets across the 30, and he's going to go down at the 29-yard line for a gain of 6 on the play. Again, Coleman Patterson out for this ball game of mono. Talking to Dr. Howard Patterson, his father, before the ball game. They believe that he was playing sick last week. They believe he's in his 3rd week with this stuff, and hopefully he'll be well next week. Now Mahomes back to throw on 2nd down and 6. Fires it out left side. Caught by Ryan Cheatham at the 19-yard line. And now we'll see a flag on the play. It's a personal foul penalty. Unsportsmanlike conduct against Marshall. I think Mahomes might have taken another late shot. They're getting their digs in on Mahomes right now. This thing has gotten a little bit nasty.
Yeah, and I'm curious too, Brian. So what is the difference between roughing the quarterback and the unsportsmanlike conduct?
I'm not real sure about that. To me, roughing the passer is unsportsmanlike conduct. It's a personal foul penalty. Sure. But I'm not sure why they don't just call it roughing the passer.
And they've indicated that. I think that's the 2nd time they've indicated roughing the passer as being unsportsmanlike.
That's it. To each official team of their own, I guess. 1st and goal now from the 9. And a flag goes down as they hand it off to Staples. Staples drags the pile into the end zone. Touchdown, but let's see what the flag's about. Matt Houston says illegal procedure. Now we'll find out.
Like possibility against Marshall.
Well, we'll find out here. Let's see. Offsides against Marshall. That penalty is declined. Staples with the touchdown, and it is going to extend the Whitehouse lead. And they have led from start to this point in the game.
Yeah, Staples is going to want that on his highlight reel, because he got hit initially at around the 6, and he drugged 4 different defenders in the end zone for that touchdown.
9-yard run by Staples. Blackburn with the extra point up, and it's good with 3:09 to play in the 3rd quarter now. Whitehouse 39, Marshall 3 on Hot 107.3 Jams. Back in a moment.
The real Cowboy Association.
After by Blackburn's good. 39-3, Whitehouse leads over Marshall with 3:09 to play here in the 3rd quarter, and now Krim with the kickoff, taken at the 10-yard line, coming out to the 20, right up the middle, 25, 30, 40, 50, 40, 5-yard line, and then run out of bounds. I'll tell you what, Marshall may be struggling, but they do have some speed and some talent. I believe that was Kirkendall, who was their main weapon, who again took it from the 10-yard line and brought it all the way out to the Whitehouse 48-yard line for a 42-yard kickoff return. Staples with 5 rushes for 25 yards and 2 touchdowns. We'll get Mahomes' numbers in just a second. Now Kirkendall trying to run the read option, put it in the belly of the running back, who wouldn't give it up, and then the back gets knocked down behind the line of scrimmage. And I'm checking it, it's number 45, Nick Koslow, who knocked him down back there for the loss on the play, all the way back to the 47-yard line for a loss of 5. Mahomes, 22 of 30 for 263 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's a routine night for Patrick. That's a first quarter for Patrick, isn't it? Second down, 10. Kirkendall breaks a tackle at the 50-yard line, rather. Runs out of bounds over in front of the Marshall bench at what appears to be the Whitehouse 47-yard line. 6-yard gain by Kirkendall. Third down at about 7. Kenny, you there? Okay, he's having problems right now. So I think Kenny's had all the wet he can stand. So he'll be back up here shortly. And now back to throw. Hart. Hart gets blown up. Ball comes out. Scramble for it. Whitehouse comes up with it. And I believe it's Nick Koslow. Nick Koslow recovers the fumble.
Devin Collier in on the play, forcing the fumble. It was a bad snap, rolled back to the quarterback, and Collier was able to hit him right as he went down to get the ball. And Nick Koslow, the junior, was able to pick it up and retain possession for the Wildcats.
So following the turnover, Whitehouse is going to take over at the 40-yard line. There's only so much water you can take when you're on the sidelines before your equipment just dies on you. And I think that's what's happened to Kenny Smith, so he's coming in. Mahomes, pump fake, deep ball, right side, throwing end zone. Parker, did he get it? Touchdown! Jake Parker caught it at the flag, 40 yards for the touchdown.
That was a bold first down play, wasn't it?
They decided to go for it after they got the turnover. They struck quickly.
That's the kind of play where a coach sees something up in the booth and he radios it down to his head coach and says, hey, you know, this might look good if we tried this. And in that case, it certainly did.
That's off the turnover. 316 yards passing and 3 touchdowns now for Mahomes. And Krim will try the extra point. And it's up and it's good, and a flag goes down with 2:01 to play. Let's see what the penalty is before we take the break. Do we have to kick it again? It's 45-3 if the extra point stands. We'll take that timeout. 45-3 Whitehouse over Marshall on Hot 107.3 Jams. Back in a moment. Solution. And it's following a penalty against Marshall for unsportsmanlike conduct, so they kicked it off from the 50. And so it goes out of the back of the end zone, and Marshall's going to take over at their own 25-yard line. So again, we've had, at least 5 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties between the two teams so far in this ball game.
And the official just dropped his flag. I'm not sure if he's calling a penalty or if maybe he was just, the flag's getting a little wet and he might not be able to handle it. That might be the case on some of those unsportsmanlike penalties.
It was just an accident, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, Marshall is going to take over the football, we believe, at the 25-yard line. Now let's see what the penalty is. They're walking it off against Marshall. And this has gotten to be a rather ragged, ugly football game because the penalties that have been called have been the kind of penalties that would suggest that your mother really would not like what she's hearing right now. Because they'll back it up all the way to the 13-yard line. And so this time they're going to run it out to the left side. And it's number 18, Marek Reyes on the carry.
Got a nice block out in the open field from Kirkendall on the screen. He's kind of a do-it-all man, isn't he?
From Jason Bailey, our statistician, 6 Marshall penalties in the third quarter for 55 yards. That's a frustrated football team. Now they'll run the Wildcat. Ball gets away from the running back. He can't handle it, and he falls down back inside the 10. At the 8-yard line, Kirkendall was in at quarterback. When he's in there, they run like a Wildcat offense, and this time the ball's wet, and he couldn't handle the snap, and they lose yardage back to the 9. Sloppy game now.
Second time inside their own 20 that the centers rolled the ball back to the quarterback.
Well, I can tell you, having been a center and having to do deep snapping, a wet ball is no fun. 47 seconds to go and counting here in the third quarter. Whitehouse 46, Marshall 3, third down and 14. Rolling right, Hart blasted from behind as he threw the football. And man, Hart just took a shot trying to see, was it 56?
74.
74
Remedies.
Got him there. Remedies. I'm telling you, that's the kind of hit that separates your head from your shoulders. As he threw the ball incomplete, fourth down, rain coming down. It's a miserable night for the Marshall Mavericks, and they're going to have to punt once again from their own end zone.
Frustration continues to build for the Mavs. Down 46-3 only in the third quarter. 2 very unsuccessful and ugly possessions back-to-back.
You ain't kidding.
Nope.
Now he's 5 yards deep in his own end zone to punt this football. Gets it out to rugby style, end over end, nasty, sloppy, ugly kind of a kick. And from the 9, and it's going to be down. And again, Whitehouse is going to have the ball deep in Marshall territory at the 36-yard line. That is a 27-yard punt. Believe me, the performance right now by the Mavericks is as dismal as the weather.
Well, with 3 punts coming from inside your own end zone, I've been thinking, when is the shank going to come? And it only makes sense that it would come on that possession after having 2 ugly possessions.
First and 10, play action, fake, throw deep end zone, left side to Dews, incomplete in the end zone. And Matthew Houston handing it off now to the wettest color man in history, Kenny Smith, who, I can't believe, man, you wussed out and came inside.
Yeah.
I'm really disappointed.
If that's the way you want to look at it, that's the way we're going to look at it tonight.
All right. Dominique Holly now on second down and 10. Takes it, handoff, up the middle. It gets slung down by the defensive back, number 21, Micah Smith. Well, I'm glad you made it back in without drowning.
It's going to be kind of an adjustment, too.
Oh, man.
It's comfortable up here.
I don't know if I can have you up here like this.
Well, believe it or not, honestly, we were going along just fine. Microphone just kind of pooped out on us.
You know, water can only do so much to equipment. Mahomes now, deep ball, end zone, throwing it up for grabs, broken up, intended for Dews, who was double covered out there. As you may call this mist, but it sure looks like it's raining sideways to me.
Well, it does from up here when you've got the lights on the other side, and even when you're on the sideline, really the heavy mist is really worse than a downpour, by golly.
Into the third quarter, our score, Whitehouse 46, Marshall 3. Back with more in the final 12 minutes on Hot 107.3 Jams.
Just bring your unused merchandise to us, and we'll give you cash.
Country Cash Pawn. Guns and pawn loans.
Business and IT to HVAC and cosmetology. Log on to vistacollege.edu to find out more. Go Wildcats.
Consumer information may be viewed at vistacollege.edu. Vista College Longview is a branch campus of Vista College, El Paso, Texas.
Back to play now, the final 12 minutes of this ball game. Whitehouse 46, Marshall 3. Whitehouse just moved the ball down to the 18-yard line. First and 10. And now they'll hand it off to Holly, sweeping right. Holly gets brought down at the 15-yard line. As it looks like maybe I know this is an odd thing to say, but maybe Adam Cook's deciding maybe we're just going to run the football a little bit and try to get out of here tonight.
Well, let Dominique Holly work a little bit.
There you go. Mahomes back to throw now and throws the screen inside. Deuce catches to the 13, gets to the 5-yard line, goes down right there, stopped on the play by number 24, and that would be Dontavius Boyd. So it's going to be 1st and goal Whitehouse, because they look like they're getting ready to try to add another one here.
And you always got to wonder when it is he's going to put the brakes on after maybe one more score.
I would think this would probably do it. Quick pass after the play action. Jumped up in the air. Jump ball caught. Jalen Dews. Touchdown. Dews went up and over number 8, Javante Parker, for the score.
Well, bless his heart. Parker, I'm telling you, he's got to feel like the bully has been picking on him all night, because Dews probably is about 6 to 8 inches taller than him. And even though Mahomes did not throw the most pinpoint kind of alley-oop pass to him, Dews is able to not only jump up but reach around and just pull the football out of the gut of Parker. Parker's got to just feel like he's just having a bad night.
Blackburn tries the extra point. It was a fake on the play, and slung down back there is Ryan Cheatham. And so that's a try for 2, and it's no good. And it's 52-3, Whitehouse over Marshall with 11:02 to go here in the ball game on Hot 107.3 Jams. Back in a moment.
Jimmy John's world's greatest gourmet sandwiches, head speaking.
Yes, I need a sandwich delivery right away.
What kind of sandwich?
I don't care. Just get it to 215 Elm Street right now.
I'm on my way.
Ball's loose. Still loose. Kickoff, a high one, and a scramble for it. Ball's loose. Whitehouse comes up with it. It is Whitehouse's football, as Marshall never could get the handle on it, and Whitehouse is going to recover it at the Marshall 37-yard line. Boy, nothing has gone right for Clint Harper's team tonight.
Well, they had a Marshall player go down. Looked like maybe it was just a frustration injury. He stayed on the ground for just a little while. But you got to wonder, too, and I keep looking out to see if, and they are going to go ahead and make the change at quarterback, because in comes Jackson Allen.
And after 5 touchdown pass night, that's probably a smart thing. Allen throws the pass over the head of Trey Staples, who slaps his helmet because he thinks he should have caught the football. Incomplete, 2nd down and 10.
Well, he knows because of the absence of Dunning. You know, he may not get this long a tenure on the field. Dunning, I'd run into Justin Dunning coming up the elevator, too, and he had mentioned that brother Vincent had just turned his ankle a little bit. He's going to be fine.
2nd down and 10 now from the 37-yard line of Marshall. Handoff inside, sweeping left. Staples gets knocked down in front of the Whitehouse bench by Dontavius Boyd. Flag goes down on the play. We'll check that penalty.
Well, if we could get a total on penalties.
Offsides against Marshall is the call, so step it off to the 32-yard line. Again, the abacus blows up when you do that.
Well, we've only had Mahomes has dropped the ball one time. We've seen the ball on the ground maybe 3 times, but very few. I don't think any of them have been really weather related.
2nd down and 6. Allen back to throw. Sets up the screen over the middle. It's incomplete. Ball off the hands of number 85, Daniel Munoz. Stops the clock, and we don't want to do that. We definitely don't want to stop the clock. 10:34 to play here in the ball game. 52-3. Whitehouse leads Marshall. Whitehouse at home next week against number 1 Carthage. And right now in the 3rd quarter, Carthage back on top of Nacogdoches, 22-16 in the 3rd quarter. Allen back to throw. Pressure coming up the middle. Flag goes down. Throws it off the hands of Chris Boykin, who should have caught that football. Incomplete. Now we'll see what the flag is. I guess holding.
I don't think Chris Boykin knew the ball was coming at him. I think Jackson Allen may have thought he was either going to turn in or turn out, but Boykin looked like he had no idea, first of all, where he was on the field, or maybe if the football was intended for him or not.
You got an entire new receiving team on this field right now. Now they're waving the flag off. Okay, fair enough. Waving the flag off. No penalty. And so it's just an incomplete pass. It'll be 4th down now and 6 for the Wildcats at the Marshall 32-yard line. Allen at quarterback. Boykin lined up near side. 3 wideouts to the right. Staples in at running back. Now he shifts to the left as the ball snapped on the ground. That was a disaster from the start. And then Allen throws the ball almost intercepted by the defensive lineman, number 92, Trey Valentine. So, boy, that was a mess of an offensive series there. And Coach Adam Cook out there talking to his quarterback right now saying, no, we can't do that. Brad Cook out there actually having the conversation. But a lot of young guys getting playing time right now in what's been a kind of a chippy game.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Missed some tempers flare, and I think maybe this almost really had the feel of a rivalry game. Just the way that there was some attitude.
Well, these guys used to be in the same district together. Marshall's never really been in it, but they've been penalized like they've been in it. 1st and 10, Whitehouse on defense. Marshall. Kirkendall, the quarterback, will hand it off as he runs that Wildcat, this time handing it off to the running back up the middle, and that is going to be DeAndre Osborne. Osborne only for a 2-yard gain on the play to the 34-yard line. Really looking forward to next week. Whitehouse and Carthage.
Well, Joseph Platt ended up getting flattened about 12 yards down the field by a big offensive lineman, Chet Munden, who basically followed the block all the way down. That's what you want an offensive lineman to do. Just take them down about 10 yards down the field.
Drive them right out of the film like Larry Allen.
That's what happened.
Yeah, just drive them off the screen. Quick pass out to Hart. Hart out to the receiver, Kirkendall. Kirkendall spins out of one tackle at the 37, fights to the 40, goes out of bounds beyond the first down marker, and Marshall will get the first down and a little bit more, a couple more yards, as they spot him at the 43-yard line for a gain of 9 on the play. So Marshall with the first down.
Yeah, next week we're going to be right back in this very same location, hopefully with a little clearer weather.
Try her, please.
Yep. Jacksonville's going to travel to Marshall to take on the Mavericks. That'll be their next opponent next Friday night.
9:21 to play, first down, 52-3. Whitehouse leads Marshall in the fourth quarter. 1st and 10, man in motion to the near side. They run the jet sweep, coming near side, breaking outside to the 50, to the 40, to the 35, down to about the 32-yard line. The run on the play by Merrick Reyes. And a nice gain by Marshall, one of the few where they've really had a nice play developed there tonight. Gets a gain of 26 yards on the play for the Mavericks.
Yeah, Reyes, we all just call him choppy. He takes him about 15 steps per 5 yards. But the kid's a little mighty, Mike. Doing a great job punting tonight in some pretty adverse conditions.
1st and 10, Marshall at the Whitehouse 31. Hart throws it right side, sets up the screen, cutting back inside, going down hard after just a gain on the play of 2. Stop made on the play by Joseph Platt on the receiver, Mitchell Leonard.
Yeah, and Savion Lacey coming in a little bit late on that play also. Still getting some, it's always nice to see some of the kids, especially with homecoming. They've probably got some not only some fans, but family from out of town that came to watch him play, and they're getting some extended playing time tonight.
8:35 to play in the ball game. Ball's at the 31 rather. 2nd down and 10. Hand off to Osborne. Off the left guard. Osborne across the 30 for a short gain, maybe 2 on the play. 2nd down and 8.
I think the Mavericks left Osborne in for most of the rest of the second quarter. And here in the second half, he's got a primary most of the carries because he's bigger, he's stronger, and they're just not able to match up athlete-wise. So they're just kind of throwing in some bulk in the middle.
Really surprised they didn't get the ball in Kirkendall's hands more often, though. Now they'll run that jet sweep one more time, sweeping for no gain on the play. Stop made by number 27. Again, that's Savion Lacey. And again, it was number 18 carrying the ball, Merrick Reyes. And that play had no chance because Lacey was all over it, ready from the start.
Well, they continue to run, and the Mavericks have just not been able to basically get anything going offense-wise, and they got a couple of drives that were worthy, long drives that they were hoping to turn into 6 in that first half. Well, the Whitehouse defense has stepped up a few times tonight where the defensive backfield's really made a difference.
3 wide outs to the left side now on 4th down and 9 for Marshall. Hart back to throw, fires over the right side. I don't know where he was throwing because the receiver cut inside. He threw outside, incomplete, intended for Mitchell Leonard, who was covered out there, just single coverage, and there's a flag on the play out at the 9-yard line.
Yeah, Hart was throwing to a spot. It looked like he had the play, and the intended receiver obviously had no idea where to go. This
preliminary call is holding against Whitehouse. So that'll be an automatic first down for Marshall. So even though the receiver and the quarterback were not on the same page, either quarterback read the wrong thing or the receiver ran the wrong route, the penalty is going to make Whitehouse pay.
Yeah, possibility Mitchell may have been forced to go to the inside.
Could be. So they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line as they step it off in Whitehouse territory. 3 wide outs to the left side. Kirkendall back in at quarterback. He'll run to his right. Gets a block. Gets to the 15. Nice open field tackle out there by number 20 on the play, Jamal Kennedy. Otherwise, Kirkendall might have walked in.
Yeah, Jamal's made a couple of good plays tonight, too. He's got the outside contained, but a couple of times he's been able to work off of wide receiver blocks. Matter of fact, at the time he got locked up with Mitchell Leonard on the outside, and Leonard just let him go.
So the ball spotted at the 14-yard line, and it's 2nd down and 5. Hart back in at quarterback. Hart fakes, and now he'll keep it, and he's slung down right at the line of scrimmage. Stopped on the play by Joseph Platt. Whitehouse defense playing its best ball of the season tonight.
Yeah, Platt's making some darn good moves, especially with the fact, once again, he is getting some extra playing time being in that backup role. But we've seen him line up as a cornerback and even back as one of the linebackers as well.
3rd and 5 now from the 15-yard line. Hart back in at quarterback. Kirkendall as the inside receiver on the right. They've got 4 wide out set. And Osborne, the running back, lines up on the left side of the quarterback. Hart drops straight back. Now shuffle pass inside. Osborne looking for running room. Fights to the 10-yard line. He'll go down there. Stopped on the play by Savion Lacey to the 10-yard line. So it's going to be real close to the first down, but apparently about a half-yard shy, depending on if they want to measure it. Apparently they say no need to measure. 4th down and about a half a yard.
Yeah, you've got to do so. You've got to go for it here.
Sure.
You might as well you've got to pull a trigger here. They just switched it up a little bit with that shuffle pass, but there was no help inside for him to get that first down. Well, they take a long time, too, between plays.
They really do.
And they've only got one coach on the sideline that's actually calling the plays, and they're down to 3 on the play clock.
They're going to take a timeout. That's what Clint Harper had always intended. They'll take the timeout, and he'll call his team over. And our timeout brought to you by Telco Plus Credit Union, your financial solution. Want to say hello to our boosters tonight. ETSN.FM, the East Texas Sports Network, the #1 source for high school football in East Texas.
And that's where we're going to get all of our scores and highlights and reviews. Matter of fact, that's where you go.
4th down and 1 from the 10. Marshall throws a pass. It's caught, and now they're going to reverse all the way to the other side of the field, sweeping, and he's going to get dropped for a loss back to the 20-yard line. Mitchell Leonard thrown back. Was it Lacey that made the stop this time?
And he's coming up hobbling, too.
We don't need any more of that.
Good gracious.
Jacoby Lacey this time, number 26, hobbling off the field.
Well, I think Jacoby, he actually, turned it as he was planning to make that stop. And unfortunately for Marshall, my gosh, the receiver caught it on one side of the field. They only needed a yard. So turning it upfield and getting that 1 yard should have been top priority, but tried to reverse and take it across the field, and it didn't work at all.
Well, Whitehouse takes over on downs at the 22-yard line. And they'll hand it off. Going up the middle to the 15-yard line is Dominique Holly for about a 3-yard gain, 2nd down and 7 as the clock continues to run. Kenny Smith, do you believe this? This game may end by 10 tonight. Is that unbelievable? No. Left-handed passer is Allen, throws it, fires it incomplete. intended for number 35, Travis Blackburn, in the ball game. Is that right?
Well, it's going to be a shocker for everybody also, because there's going to be an awful lot of officials, as we found out last week, that will try to tune into the game at the end of theirs. But because we had a short halftime, it had been raining, so a lot of halftime shows got cut short. No band performances, but neither one of the bands even showed up to play tonight.
Well, you can't get the instruments wet tonight. You know that. So, quick pass out left side high off the hands of number 82, Hunter Franks. Again, guys who have not seen any varsity action so far playing tonight, and it's kind of showing a little uneven at this point. 4:11 to go in the ball game. 52-3, Whitehouse leads over Marshall, and the punt team is going to come back on the field. All right, we see Cheatham. Of course, Allen in the ball game, 0 for 6, and then again, to be expected. The young man has limited experience and running with a lot of new receivers tonight, so not really in sync at this point. Oh, and Allen punts, and Allen flops, and a flag goes down, and Allen ought to get an Oscar.
Oh my God.
Allen got bumped by the Marshall.
That was
defender.
not even close.
Oh man, Allen thought, maybe I should fall down. He counted to 10 and then dropped on his face, and the flag goes down, and they call roughing the punter.
Randy Love is not going to like this when he sees this on video.
I'm going to tell you who isn't going to like it is Clint Harper.
Oh, my God.
Clint Harper is not liking this at all.
No, he's not. Good gracious. Well, it's late in the ball game. It is a 52-3 contest, 4:03 to go, and the punter decides to take a dive, and they're going to get the penalty.
Dude.
Oh, my.
This looked like a heavyweight fighter who took a payoff.
Well, the back
running into the kicker.
The fall was one thing, but the backflip, that was, the added feature of the backflip.
When he threw his arms and went up into the 8th row, then you knew it might not be exactly what it seemed.
Yeah, it reminds you of Shaquille O'Neal taking a dive when Muggsy Bogues hit him one time.
All right, now it's 4th down and 1. Allen stays in the game and throws the slant over the middle, and it's incomplete. Once again, intended for Hunter Franks, and so they went for it deep in their own territory with 4 minutes to go, but hey, the game's over. 52-3, Whitehouse leads Marshall.
Yeah, and I think one thing we have to remember, too, there's most of the times when Jackson comes into play, he's got Jake Parker on the field, or he has Ryan Cheatham still on the field. So there's times he has some experienced receivers where he can throw to the same guys he throws to in practice.
Right. Not tonight. Tonight we're seeing everybody, which is good. That's what you need to do in games like this. Marshall comes back out on the field now at the Whitehouse 31. Fumble on the play. Whitehouse recovers it. And initially, it looked like number 51 was going to get Ryan McLean, but it slipped out of his hands, and I believe it was 53 that got it, Will Etheridge. Correct?
Well,
Will Etheridge is going to get credit for recovering the fumble.
It takes 2 linemen to recover a fumble.
That's why they're linemen.
They're not used to handling the football
I played line.
It's gotten a little calamitous here this last quarter.
All right, boy, the crowd's going wild. 3:54, 1st and 10. Holly will take the handoff, finds a hole up the middle, busts it outside to the 43-yard line, knocked off his feet out there. Nice open field tackle made by Marshall's number 8, Javante Parker, who thumps his chest, beats his number, down 52-3.
You got to find some positive right now. He made a good hit, made a good tackle on a guy twice his size.
And now a quick pass out to the left side, caught on a wide receiver screen, knocked out of bounds at the 47-yard line is Hatib Siddiqui. Hatib Siddiqui making his first catch of the season.
My apologies, gang. I turned down the wrong microphone.
Really ought to give up the smoke.
Yeah, I'm going to.
All right. Ball's at the 48-yard line. 1st and 10, Whitehouse. They'll hand it off right up the middle. Staples finds a hole, and it closes in a hurry as he crosses midfield and gets knocked down for forward progress. They'll spot him at the 48-yard line for a 4-yard gain on the play. 3:05. Don't stop the clock. Let the clock run.
Well,
gosh.
Yeah, the rain has stopped, and the crowd is really just trying to find something to cheer about.
There
That's
is
the reason the
nobody
girls
that
are
wants
screaming.
to be here right now. Let this clock run. Quick pass over the middle. Allen wants to be here. Receiver would like for the ball to be where he was. It was behind him. Hatib Siddiqui, the intended receiver, incomplete. 2:52 to go in the game. Again, we really, when you look at it, if you want to talk about the glass half full, the lakes are completely full after the 8 inches of rain that we got around. If you see Holly Tree Golf Club today, the golf course basically would have been a nice place to do some duck hunting. And Allen goes back to throw on 3rd down and 5 and throws an inside screen, and it's caught, and he's going to fight to the 40-yard line is Hunter Franks. Franks gets the first down to the 40-yard line on an 8-yard gain with 2:42 to play in the game. But we caught a break because we could have got that sideways rain tonight instead of earlier this afternoon.
Yeah, the first team over on the bench right now are cheering the fact that they finally had a second-team receiver catch a pass and pick up some positive yards.
Staples sweeps to the left side across the 35 to the 34-yard line. 6-yard gain on the play. 2nd down and 5. Quick pass out left side, and it's dropped by Hunter Franks. So it's going to be 3rd down. When you come with takeaways from tonight's ball game with 2:17 to go, I guess the best thing you can say is that Whitehouse was heavily favored over Marshall. Whitehouse came out here on a homecoming night when you have a week full of distractions and things like that. They came out, did what they had to do, and they put this game away early, and they can get on to focusing on Carthage next week.
Exactly.
Quick pass inside, and it's caught by Andrew Liberty, who almost had his head taken off at the 33-yard line. It wouldn't be the first time somebody's gone for the head.
It's going to be
to the 32, actually, since 4th down and 3.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting practice week this week as well with the unsportsmanlike conduct penalties we've seen on the field, plus the 2nd and 3rd string receivers having a little trouble not only making the right cuts but also catching the football. So I think it's drill time next week.
4th down and 3. Allen and the offense check the sidelines for the score. I'll tell you about these unsportsmanlike conduct penalties next week. That stuff isn't going to happen because you're going to have 2 football teams that are coming for war. They'll hand it off right up the middle, burst to the 1st down at the 29-yard line. You know, it's amazing when you get 2 teams that are really, really good. Holly was the guy that carried the ball. When you get 2 teams that are state-ranked, you're not going to find a whole lot of talking next week. You're going to find a whole lot of playing.
Well, there's not going to be a whole lot of room to stand around this stadium either.
It'll be a great game. Pass out to the left side, caught. Siddiqui across the 15 as 4 Marshall Mavericks converge on him trying to strip the ball, and to his credit, he was able to hang on to it. Siddiqui does. And boy, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He is at the 12-yard line. And it's 1st and 10 Whitehouse. Allen and company sweep right to Holly. Holly finds a lane, runs in, standing up. Touchdown Whitehouse with 1:01 to play.
Well, that's what he's been looking for all night. And the big guy, literally, once he gets in the football game, and once Vincent Dunning went down, we knew it was going to be Shamar Smith and Holly in there taking basically turns. Shamar Smith, we saw him carry the football a few times in the first half, but it has basically been all Dominique Holly in this second half. And you give the guy a hole, and he's just got enough power, and he's got a little freight train to him, and he finally had a nice little open lane there, and nobody to really stop him.
Travis Blackburn with the extra point try. It's up, and it's good. And with 1:01 to play now, Whitehouse leads 59-3 over Marshall on Hot 107.3 Jams. Back in a moment.
Adventurous, choose the performance-tuned Abarth. Until now, if you wanted a 4-door, you had to buy 2 Fiats. Not anymore. 2 plus 2 equals
El Paso, Texas.
Back to play now after Holly's touchdown made it 59-3. Whitehouse with 57 seconds to go. Short kickoff taken by number 42 for Marshall. Kevin Moorhead. He'll down it at the 33-yard line with 57.5 seconds left. Marshall, hopefully, is just going to take a knee and we can all end this misery.
Get through the Burger King drive-thru before 10:30.
I mean, hey, look, Churches is busy at Whitehouse.
Good gracious.
6 minutes. Gosh, the 10 o'clock curfew, All right, they're going to hand it off. I like that. Running back, fighting to the 40, to the 50, and then brought down at the 45-yard line. Did he stay in bounds? Nope, went out of bounds. Doggone it. Kevin Moorhead, the running back on the play, with a nice gain, showing some fight there as he gets out to the 44-yard line for a 23-yard gain for Whitehouse.
Well, they should just give it right back to him because Moorhead was, it's one of the first times we've seen anybody just literally go north and south with his weight. By golly, he may pick up another 20 this time.
Handoff up the middle. Oh, nobody. No room at all this time for Moorhead as the Whitehouse defensive line converts. Here's your test for the night. And you're going to have to come up with this because you came in early. You took the fourth quarter off, so I got to
pick the player of the game.
Dairy Queen player of the game. Good luck tonight with that.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
Yeah. Because it's pretty much a total team victory tonight. 9 seconds to go in the ball game. That's going to be the last play of the ball game, and the Whitehouse Wildcats win their home opener / homecoming 59-3 over the Marshall Mavericks, and they go to 4-0. And that sets up what could be a heck of a showdown next Friday night against the number one team. Now, get this. We think they'll be the number one team in Class 3A next week at this time. But right now in the fourth quarter, Nacogdoches and Carthage are tied at 30. Wow. What in the world is going on in high school football? All right, our final score, 59-3, Whitehouse over Marshall. Let's take a timeout. We will come back with the Jack of Diamonds Honda Lincoln post-game show. You should be driving a Honda, home of the lifetime warranty. Kenny Smith's going to make his brilliant pick for Dairy Queen Player of the Week coming up in just a moment as well on Hot 107.3 Jams. Back in a moment.